All right, we're recording. We're here. Uh, Big weekend for me. Actually started back at the gym this week. Haven't drank for 3 days, so it's going good.
So, when I do this, do you get an urge?
A little bit. It was getting bad, man. I was drinking 8 to 6 tall cans a night.
8?
Yeah,
And you're going to work the next day? You didn't feel like shit?
not at all.
That's too much. That's way too much.
But I just ordered some burrito boys, so I'm gonna celebrate.
Good, man. Congrats. I'm happy for you. When did you show you're at Forest City Fitness now or what?
Yeah, we're back at Forest City. And I got my new elliptical bike behind me too, so I had to buy a new one.
Shout out to Forest City Fitness. Tell everybody to say hi next time you're in.
I will. We had some recap this weekend. Not too much boxing, but a screw job.
It was a big fight though. Like whether people watched it or not, took our recommendation, or whether it got good ratings, which I imagine it did. It was on free TV. It was a very big fight, and it was a good fight. What did you think?
It was a good fight. I just thought the scoring was a little off. The 117 to 111 was kind of crazy. I did actually watch it. I watched it the next day, but
So, how'd you score it?
I had Castano winning
By how many rounds?
2.
So you had 8 rounds to 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's completely fine. I think the judge that had it 114, a little bit close for me, but I can understand it. There's some close rounds. The 115, 113 Castano, yep, that's one round for Castano. I could definitely see that. The 117, 111 for Charlo, go kill yourself. Like, we can't have you in the sport anymore. You're a piece of shit. You're just corrupt. You obviously were just, before the round even was done, you just wrote down Charlo's name. You didn't even give the guy a chance. He had no chance of winning this fight by decision. Personally, I had it watching it live, 9 rounds to 3 for Castano. Then I rewatched it the next day with my dad because he's like, there's no way it could have been that bad. So we watched it. He had it a draw, and I had it 7 rounds to 5 for Castano the second time. So a lot closer, but there's no way that you could have 117, 111 for Charlo. I think a draw at the most. A draw is the most Charlo could have gotten.
The thing about it, we keep talking about judges and all that stuff. They need to be more stricter with MMA and boxing. They need to start firing these people and setting examples.
They had even Bellator this weekend had a bad decision, in my opinion. The main event, we'll get to that in a minute, but I was like, what is going on here? Like,
well, we'll get right into that, yeah.
It's the thing is, people are like, oh yeah, boxing judges are bad. Boxing judges are bad, but guess what? They're the same judges that do MMA, and MMA has the same problems. Does it happen as frequently? Maybe not. But it's also, you got to remember that MMA is only 5 rounds, so there's less rounds to score, so it's harder to do a screw job than a 12-round boxing match.
And I think it's been more constant. Actually, I think MMA's been as bad as boxing for judges lately. Every card you're seeing bad score.
The last 18 months have been tough. MMA is getting just as bad. It's because the money is coming up. So the more money you get in the sport, the more money there is to hand out to these judges, and then it's the same thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about the Bellator fight card. What'd you think?
Well, Matt Mitrione got released today.
Did he? I thought they were going to have him on for one more fight.
Me too, but it's 4 losses. I'm surprised Roy Nelson didn't get released. I mean, he's on 5 losses there. But I thought he was still signed.
Oh, maybe I'm confused. I thought he was gone. But okay, if he's still there, that's crazy.
But I don't know. I thought they were going to give Mitrione another fight. I think Mitrione should just retire.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think the thing is, was he going to win the fight against Fortune? No, we both thought he was going to lose. But did the headbutt affect him? Yes. I would like to see him get at least one more fight somewhere else so that he can go on either on his shield properly without getting headbutted. There's 2 fights in a row now he's been headbutted, or go out and win. As long as he gets to go out on his own terms, I'm happy with that. But the headbutt's it's shitty luck.
What about a PFL?
I don't know what's there for him. Verdum's not there anymore. There's they don't really have any of the big names at heavyweight anything that I'd really want to see. I don't know. Maybe
that may be good for him.
Yeah, well, what about BKFC? Because Matt Mitrione's never been a ground fight guy at all. Whenever he gets taken out, it's usually the end of the road for him. I'd like to see him versus Joey Beltran on BKFC.
That'd be a nice fight.
Honestly, I think Mitrione might piece him up, but
he'd be destroyed.
Yeah. No.
But we did have a kind of, I don't know, this fight could have went either way. I don't think it was actually a bad scorecard, the main event.
Okay, how'd you score? Did you have it for Velasquez or did you have it for Keels?
I had it for Velasquez, 3-2.
So you gave it rounds 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so in my opinion, I had rounds 1 and 4 for Keels. Clearly, I think those 2 rounds were the easiest rounds of the fight to score. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I just agree there was just some middle rounds that could have went either way.
So in my mind, if she's definitely won 2 rounds and there's 3 rounds up in the air that are close, that's tough, man. Like, if she gets every single close round to Velasquez, that's a hard pill for me to swallow. I thought coming into the fight, Velasquez was gonna get the job done. She's more well-rounded. Her boxing has come a long way. Even in this fight, her jab looked good. She just wasn't active enough. Her jab and right hand looked solid, but she was just getting outworked. And it was very much like the Castano-Charlo fight. She was being very accurate with her straight shots like Charlo, but then Keelholtz would come in behind with a big flurry like Castano did and steal the round, in my opinion. That's the way I saw it going. Honestly,
I wasn't paying too much attention. I might have to rewatch it.
I wouldn't rewatch it. It wasn't that good of a fight. The only reason I'd rewatch it is because Miss Keelholtz is a dime piece, and I'm gonna see if she wants to come on the show. Shout out to Denise Keelholtz.
You better get her on.
I'll see what I can do.
But we had some UFC this weekend. We'll just talk about the co-main and the main event. We'll mention that Jeremy Stephens should probably retire first.
I think he's getting cut 100%.
Oh, he should. He hasn't won a fight in 6 fights.
Yeah, and what's it going back to, like 2017 or something? He doesn't want to fight?
Yeah, I think it was Josh Emmett, which was a big win.
Yeah, he beat Michael Johnson and Josh Emmett, and it was like, wow, that's when Michael Johnson was actually legit.
And Du Hai Choi.
Yeah, but just like, I think the experiment of him coming up to 155 was a mistake. I think the strength advantage that he had at 145 clearly isn't there at 155. He was the smaller man for sure, and he got just ragdolled. It was just over fast.
Oh, for sure. But he was also fighting a guy who could be arguably in the top 15.
Okay, but you would think Jeremy Stephens should be arguably in the top 50, and he's just not living up to what he did in the past.
That's for sure. I don't know. They're going to give him another fight because he's been around.
Cut him. Next. Okay, where are we going?
Misha Titty Tates? Cupcake Tates?
You are a savage. Man, I'm going to be honest with you. She looked in better shape at 34 than she did at 29 when she retired.
Yeah, she looked in ridiculous shape, shredded.
Do you think that she's one win away from a title shot?
Yes.
Do you think that she looked better now as a fighter than she did when she retired?
She's a problem.
She's still slow. Her hands are still slow. She doesn't have great technique. She's getting hit a lot on her feet still. She has a chin, but she's still very. She's Misha Tate 2.0. She's the same fighter. She has to get you to the ground. That's the only way she can win a fight. But she has better conditioning. She's in better shape. She's stronger now. So those intangibles are definitely there. But she has, in my opinion, her style hasn't changed, and she hasn't really grown with the sport. The sport's kind of grown, and she's still very much a specialist.
Yeah, she definitely improved a lot of areas, which was great to see. I was happy to see her get a win. I want to see her at home next.
Makes the most sense. We talked about this as soon as she announced she was coming back to the UFC. We said we got to see that fight. I think Holly Holm absolutely destroys her in the rematch.
Really?
I mean, Holm will be 40 years old when they fight, though. So I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe a toss-up. It's a toss-up for me. I keep going back and forth. I couldn't bet on it.
That's a battle of a couple baddies.
Absolutely. The main event, it was so bad that I don't even remember what the main event was. Remind me.
Islam Makhachev. The people are calling him the next coming of Khabib versus Thiago Moises. Were you impressed with that?
He got bounced up to ranking 5 today.
Based on being number 14?
Yeah.
His best win is either Thiago Moises or Drew Dober. How does he get a top 5 spot?
Conor McGregor got dropped to 9.
I'm okay with Conor dropping out of the top 5. I don't have Conor in my top 5 anymore, but there's no way that Conor's below Islam.
No. But Islam hasn't beat anyone, and I don't understand how he could be number 5.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think you got to go Oliveira. Dustin's better, but Oliveira at 1, then Dustin, then Gaethje, then Chandler, then probably RDA, I would say.
No, I put Beneil.
Beneil, then RDA at 6, and then Connor at 7.
And then Islam.
Then Islam. Maybe even Dan Hooker. I might even have Dan Hooker over him.
Yeah, he's beaten better people. But it was a good card, I guess.
I only watched the co-main and the main event because it's just like I was honestly this week's Showtime card was amazing, and it was all action-packed fights. I couldn't look away.
I just get bored with Islam. I get bored with that style, so I don't have much to say about it.
I was impressed that he submitted him. I told you he would submit him. You said no way. Thiago's too good in the ground. I said I understand Thiago's a black belt. He's Brazilian. But this is Islam Makhachev. He's getting this push. He's supposed to be this grappling specialist. He will submit him. He almost submitted him in the second round when he sat to the armbar at the end of the round, and he ended up getting was it a rear naked choke in the fourth?
Yeah, it was a rear naked choke.
I mean, Thiago Moises is no bum, but it's not a fight that you should jump 4 spots in the rankings. I don't agree with that.
I don't either. But
what do you think? What?
Oh, I was going to ask you that.
Okay. He called out Dan Hooker, didn't he? Or something happened with Dan Hooker?
He called out Mike Chandler and RDA. I would like to see the RDA fight.
But the thing is, RDA's already been there, done that. He's supposed to fight this guy twice, and then Islam pulled out last time and Felder had to replace him. No, RDA's already signed. Huh?
Beneil Dariush.
No, I think Dan Hooker is the right fight because I think Dan Hooker and him are at the same spot in the rankings, right there. They're both 7, 8-ish in there, and it makes no sense. Like Beneil's top 5, top 4. Like, no, what are we doing? RDA was supposed to fight him twice. Islam pulled out. Like, no, let him have a bigger name. He's a vet. He's a former champion. He's already been there. He's already done it twice. Islam didn't show up. It's not his fault. Playground rules, like Chael Sonnen says, if you don't show up, I advance. I win. Everyone knows I win the fight. You didn't come out. You didn't come outside. Like, what do you want from me? You didn't come outside.
That's true. So Dan Hooker versus Islam it is.
It makes the most sense. I would love to have seen the Paul Felder versus Islam fight. Unfortunately, Felder is retired, but that would have been a great fight.
For sure, I agree with that.
Are we going on to this week's fight? Or anything else you want to touch on?
Yeah, let's get on to this week's main card. We will shout out that Hannah Goldie opens up the prelims. She was on the show, so she should get a win. But we'll just talk about the main card today.
Okay, I'm just flipping over to it. Okay.
It's not a bad card.
Ooh, my boy Kyler Phillips is fighting. Okay. Mickey Gall is making his return since I think his last fight was against Perry, right?
Yeah.
He's taking on Jordan Williams. I'm not familiar, but I would imagine Jordan Williams wins this. Mickey Gall, I'm not very impressed with.
Mickey Gall should get a unanimous decision.
I'm taking Jordan all day.
Next.
Miranda Maverick versus Macy Barber. Dude, they are
such a good fight.
They are giving Barber tough fights. Like she lost to the Goku, Roxanne Modafferi, Miss Goku, and then she's lost to who's her last fight?
Alexa Grasso.
And now
she's fighting killers, and the crazy thing is Miranda Maverick's going to be the hardest fight for her out of all of them.
I think Miranda Maverick's going to stop her.
I think Miranda Maverick knocks her out in the second round.
Yeah, she's too good stand up. Macy Barber is too hittable, too come forward, tough fight. Miranda Maverick is huge for the weight division. That's but 2 young studs that are they're gonna be around for a long time. The UFC's building them well.
Maverick's definitely a future contender.
For sure. I think Barber's a future contender. She's just fighting killers.
Yeah, I think you should message Miranda Maverick and get her on the show.
Why?
I don't know. She's an up-and-comer now, so I already had an interview with her. Didn't go so well.
Maybe I put a bad taste in my mouth when you told me how the interview went. I haven't really been cheering for her since.
I know. But after that, we got
Darren Elkins taking on Derek Minor. These 2 dudes have some salty records: 26-11 versus 26-9.
But that being said, Darren Elkins has beaten some good guys, and he's fought the best.
Yes, for sure.
So I don't know. I think Darren Elkins isn't going to lose to a guy who's he loses to good people. I think he's coming back off a win. He was on quite a losing streak. Darren Elkins should get a second round submission.
I'm going to say decision for Elkins.
Hopefully. The damage on the chest.
The damage. Okay, my boy Kyler Phillips. This dude has got some of the best boxing in the bantamweight division. He's 9-1. I think he's only 25. He's young. He's taking on Raulian Paiva. I'm not familiar with Paiva. I'm going to assume he's a jiu-jitsu guy. I think Kyler Phillips pieces him up. Unanimous decision.
Yeah, it's a step down in competition for him, coming off a win over Sun Yudong.
Yes.
I think he gets a stoppage second round.
He's this guy, he literally looks like Jesus out there. He's a problem.
Yeah.
Another young female challenger who's coming up the ranks, Aspen Ladd, is in the co-main event, sitting at 9-1, taking on Macy Chiasson at 8-1. I'm not familiar with Macy.
She's top 5, actually. But if I'm going to make a prediction, should be a Russell Fest for Aspen Ladd. I've always been a fan of Aspen Ladd, actually. To me, she's a baddie, actually.
Aspen Ladd is she's a good fighter. Her only loss is to Holly Holm. No, GDR.
Yeah. She's only lost to Darren. I mean, it was controversial.
Yeah, but she was getting close to getting stopped. It was an early stoppage, but I think it was going to be destruction after that.
Yeah, Aspen Ladd should get unanimous over Macy.
Agreed. Okay, and this fight, it was supposed to be on, what weekend was it supposed to be on? There was a big boxing match the same weekend this was supposed to happen.
Like 3 weeks ago.
Huh?
It was supposed to be like 3 weeks ago.
Cory the Sandman Sandhagen taking on TJ Dillashaw. Dude, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I think Dillashaw dominates this fight. I think he wins decision. I don't think he stops him, but I think he wins at least 4 rounds.
Really?
I'm telling you. Okay, when TJ left, the bantamweight version of TJ is arguably, not in my opinion, but he's arguably the best bantamweight of all time. 2 years is a long time to be out. Actually, it's like 2.5 years at this point.
But he's an all-time great, so if anyone's going to do it, it's him.
Exactly. And at their best, I still think TJ's better than Sandhagen. Sandhagen's looked great as of late, but he beat an old Frankie, a Marais who's kind of washed, and then he got ragdolled by Aljo, and Aljo's kind of looked human as of lately. So it's like, yeah, he's looking great, but he's not fighting the guys TJ was fighting at the time.
That's true. I do think that I think Cory Sandhagen stops him by knockout the second round, but I think his chin's gone, Dillashaw.
Because he got knocked out by Cejudo at 125?
I don't know. I think he's always been hittable.
He has. But Cruz hit him with shots. Cody hit him with shots. Cody sat him down, actually, but he survived.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I got second round knockout by Cody. I would love to see Dillashaw win, though.
If TJ wins this fight, man, and then Peter Yan does what we all know he's going to do against Aljamain Sterling, Yan versus TJ is such a sick fight, man.
It would be amazing.
The footwork, the boxing on display. Sign me up. Please make this fight. Sandhagen, I'm a fan. Huh?
Make it a boxing match.
Make it a boxing match. I'm a fan of the Sandman, but win or lose, he's still going to be around this division. I think this is a must-win fight for TJ.
I don't. 2 years off, you can still say whatever.
He's 35, bro.
That's true. But you want to talk some heavyweight boxing this weekend?
Yes. So if you guys haven't noticed, I have my Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King t-shirt on because this weekend was supposed to be the 2020 debut of the Furious One, the Gypsy King himself. He was going to do the job on the big Dosser Deontay Wilder. But, him and his team out doing their thing in Vegas, and he got COVID. It happens. So it got pushed off till October. The bet that I placed on the fight is sitting on Bodog, and I won't get my money back until October, but that's fine. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it at all, as you can tell. But what we do have this weekend is top 10 heavyweight juggernaut Joe Joyce taking on solid contender Carlos Takam. It's going to be a good fight.
It's a good fight to watch, but I think Joe Joyce just destroys him.
Yeah, the thing is, they have two of the very similar styles. They both are come-forward heavyweights, hard-nosed. They're going to sit on each other's chest. I think Joyce has a little bit better jab, and because he's so much taller and longer, he's going to use that jab to dictate the range. Takam has to come inside, and is he going to sit on the right hand? He's just going to get hit with that right hand on the way in. I think Joe Joyce does stop him late, probably TKO. Sorry?
8.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be like knocked out cold, but I think the ref will have to save him.
Yeah. So good boxing this weekend for heavyweights. But this weekend we do have the biggest pay-per-view of the year. We got your wife, Rachel Ostovich, fighting Paige Van Zandt in the BKFC pay-per-view.
Is that this weekend?
this weekend.
Friday?
We wanted to watch it.
Yes, I'm in.
And on the prelims, we also got Taylor Starling fighting.
The Killer Bee?
Yeah.
She's fighting some like Instagram influencer or something. I don't even know who she is.
But Ostovich, my prediction, gets pieced up and stopped in the third round.
Do you not remember the fight they had in the UFC? Ostovich was dominating on the feet.
I don't know. I just think Paige looks good in her BKFC debut, even though she lost.
Fair enough. I got Ostovich by unanimous decision. I think her hands are better. The only reason she lost the fight is because her ground game was just hella suspect. And but let's be real. Just like Paige said, come for the tits, stay for the fight. I'm coming for the tits, and I'm staying for the tits. I don't really care about the fight.
Anything you want to say besides Usyk versus Joshua signed?
Ooh, yes. I just found that out earlier today. That is okay. The thing is, we wanted Fury versus Joshua. We wanted undisputed. We're not going to get that because of Deontay's Fuentes bullshit, whatever. But in the meantime, in the interim, Joshua Usyk is a good fight. Probably one of the better fights you can make on the match.
$20 that Usyk beats Joshua.
I'll take that right now, 100%. Yeah.
All right, that deal.
Done. Joshua looks huge. I think he looks a little bit too big. He might be back on the sauce or back on the program he was on when he was fighting Klitschko and Ruiz. When he looked really slow, he's gonna have to trim down. I think he looks too heavy.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that when the fight comes.
Yeah, sounds good.
Is there anything else you want to say before we let go?
Any other big fight announcements? No, I think that's pretty much it. Shout out to everybody who watched our videos. Like, subscribe, share. We'll be back with you next week.
All right, we're out.